What is happening? Welcome to the emergency broadcast of Who Are These Podcasts. Of course, a lot of things happening. Yes, I did fuck up. I had my stupid, this happened to me a couple times now. I had my other browser window with this YouTube video so I could grab the link, and then I started playing, but on a delay, and then I fucked everything up because I'm an idiot. But at least my computer works. So I have that going for me. So at least that's happening. Wow, we got a lot of people here in the chat. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Like most of you, I've been watching John's show from today. Big announcement came out today from Stuttering John. He has officially canceled his live show in Rochester, March 10th. And whoever took the under, they win. I think a lot of people were thinking Thanksgiving, New Year's. There are a lot of dates people had as far as when he would cancel the show. No one thought it was going to happen, but there are a lot of guesses as to when that was going to happen. And November 13th was the answer. And he even said on the show today, he wanted to do it sooner. And really, this is what it comes down to. John doesn't have a fan base anymore. He won't admit it. He won't admit. He loves to say that I want to be famous really badly. That's all John wants in life, is to be famous. And he's not famous for the right reasons anymore. He is no longer known as the stunt boy and interviewer guy from the Howard Stern show. He is now known as a drunken buffoon who embarrasses himself on the internet on a daily basis at this point. And so when he started to realize this show on March 10th was going to be him standing in front of a crowd full of people waiting for him to fuck up, he went, oh, that's not going to be good. I'm going to fuck up and it's going to be embarrassing. And so he did the thing that we all predicted he would. He decided to back out. But, of course, another thing that we all would have predicted, it's not his fault. It's all Vinnie Paulino's fault. And the reason why it's Vinnie Paulino's fault is because there was a text message that said, I don't want Carl or Shuli there. And then when John decided to make the show about me and I said, I'm going to come, Shuli said, yeah, you can come. It's fine. Or not Shuli. Vinnie said, yeah, you can come. That's fine. And so John is claiming that's breach of contract and the reason why he's no longer doing the show. Full disclosure, I wasn't going to go. I wasn't going to go anyway. It's, first off, a Sunday night. I'd rather be home anyway. Secondly, I don't know what kind of train wreck that show would have been, but I'm sure I could have heard about it later. Would have been fine. So anyway, John is backed out of the March 10th. Now we got to figure out what to do that weekend, because I know they do have subreddit surfing scheduled for March 9th, and that will be going on. I know a lot of people have bought tickets. A lot of people have purchased airfare. They're coming into Rochester. So we got to figure out what we're doing. I'm pretty sure we're going to do a live WATP on March 10th at the Comedy Club. So at the bare minimum, we'll do a live show there that anyone who has tickets will be able to get into for, if you have your tickets that you bought for Stuttering John, you get in for watching Who Are These Podcasts live. That'll be a lot of fun. But there might be more things too. We're in discussions with everyone. So a lot of things are going to happen. But what an action-packed day today has been. I wasn't planning on doing another emergency. This happened last week too on Monday. I hope this is not the norm. But we had to talk about this because this is big news in our world. Brock Lee coming in with a super chat.
Yay, super chats.
Carl, more than likely you are going to take over John's canceled show. Whatever you do, don't allow Shuli to be involved in the planning of it. If he is involved, people will cancel. Keep it a WATP only event. Hope to meet you in Rochester. Big fan. Well, thank you, Brock Lee. I appreciate that. So I assume that you have tickets then and you're coming to the show. I'll take that into consideration, keeping the Shuli network out of it. We might, I don't know. We're in discussions with a bunch of different people about what we might do there. As you guys know, I've been pretty transparent about it. I don't want to have people come to Rochester in the wintertime again. We did that for DabbleCon and a lot of people came and it was awesome. And it happened to be the coldest day in years, the coldest weekend in years in Rochester. It was like sub-0 degrees and people were miserable and it wasn't a good representation of Rochester. It's not a place you want to travel to in February. So I don't want to have a big show in Rochester. I'm planning a show in Tampa in the wintertime. I'd rather have everyone travel to Tampa and do a show there. There's also breaking news. There's also discussion around a Las Vegas show later in the year, potentially. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But Stuttering John, if you're just joining us, breaking news. Stuttering John has canceled his March 10th show at Comedy at the Carlson and saying that Vinny Paulino's unprofessionalism is the reason for it, not his fault at all. Driven by Demons, new member. Thank you very much. You guys can sign up, become members. You get 2 bonus shows every single month, and we appreciate the support. You can also watch the show live. Unlike other podcasts, our live video show is only for members of the show. So if you want to watch us on Wednesdays at 5 and Saturdays at 2, then become a member either on Patreon or Supercast or YouTube, and you get the link to that. Dang Lizard, 10 euros. SJ said he never threatened to sue you ever, but who could keep up with all of his lies? All right, well, I'll add this right now. Let's take a look at what the reason why I decided to do this show today, even before I knew that John was going to cancel. This was the main thing I wanted to talk about. So it looks like Lady Kmart is still spewing lies about me, defaming me, even after the allegation was disproven by both a written and taped statement. Time for me to sue. And I was just listening to John's show today, and they go, hey, Carl's going to do a show about how you want to sue him. He's like, did I threaten to sue him? John threatens to sue me so much he forgets. This is a weird thing to tweet out and forget about when you're threatening. Like, time for me to sue is a threat for a lawsuit, John. I don't know if you realize that because you're a child in the way that you behave. So maybe you didn't understand that is a lawsuit threat. And I take that, well, I was going to say I take that seriously. I don't at all. And what I'm going to do for you today is I'm going to play the part of Point Dabble Point on Friday because it's been scrubbed from the internet, except for on my channel. I'm going to play that part again because if somebody texts somebody information and then that person reads it, that is perfectly legal. Everything about that is perfectly legal. We didn't say we had any proof. We didn't say we knew anything. We just heard Casey read a text he got from an ex-girlfriend who had, sounds like a miserable night with Stuttering John 12 or 13 years ago, which I still don't understand that timeline. Maybe I'm going to be checking the chat. You guys can help me out with some of this. I'm trying to understand what actually went down that night that John allegedly, hey, John, you want to sue me? I think that you allegedly shit the bed, or at least wipe your ass on sheets while laying in a bathtub because the girl you're with didn't want anything to do with your drunk ass. Allegedly. That's what I think happened. Allegedly, maybe. That's what I'm saying, that it might be possible that maybe allegedly you didn't wipe your ass and then you got shit all over all the sheets. I do love sheet shitter is a very funny name for John. I'm all in on that. The Reverend Shit Stain Powerful Poop or $2. John has skipped over $100 of super chats today. Scared. No, you know what it is? Well, there might be some of that, but also John's computer keeps freezing up on him because Stuttering John still has the computer that Heather W. bought for him all those years ago. This has to be 4 or 5 years ago now. He's had this computer. John, stop paying Legal Shield the $30 a month because that's not doing anything for you, and buy a new computer. He's like, I got to bring it to the store or something. Buy a new computer, John. It's time for a new computer. Your entire show, your existence relies on a computer. Buy a good one. And I say that because I did recently, and I went, oh, I should have done this a long time ago. Tom, is this the Tom Gully? Tom Gully from the Tom Gully Show. For the WATP Legal Aid Fund, you won't need more. Yeah, I know. $2 should probably do it. Yo Dogs Gaming, $5. Classic SJ welching on bets, canceling his own gigs, and multiple lawsuit threats all in the same week. Hope you got rock star lawyers. Carla. We have powerful attorneys here at the WATP network, so I am not all that worried about it. Flashy Vic. You're too pretty for prison, Carl. I fear for you. Oh my gosh, I know. I'm going to be thrown around amongst the inmates. Sodomy. How Fug Brock have much money? He MSG manufacturer? That or fentanyl, but I don't know. These are all alleged allegations, as allegations are. Tampaletic Converters, €5. Will you book Ray DeVito to open for WATP live show? Apparently he does comedy. I would do that, actually. I'd actually like to see Ray DeVito's stand up. I think that would be a lot of fun. And unlike Stuttering John, Ray DeVito would be welcomed with open arms at Comedy at the Carlson, and we'd all look forward to his show. George Towers, $5. Carol, can you go a little more in depth on the mental gymnastics that SJ has to do to keep calling you Carla? Hypocrite police? Yeah, he continues to claim falsely, and I'm going to get into the things that John lies about me because John claims that I'm making up lies about him and that's targeted harassment and he can sue me for that. He's got multiple lawsuits in the works against me as usual. But this is one of the things that John likes to lie about. He goes, well, I call him Carla because he used to come into my chat room under the name Carla. I never did. I wouldn't. It doesn't even make sense to do that. But John likes to hold on to that for some reason. KC Armstrong, I'll do stand up and hang out. F John. If this is the real KC, I sent him the link if he wanted to join us today because KC's in the middle of all of this. And I thought he did a fantastic job. I have a clip from his show from last night where he addresses all of this. And KC, of course, you are very welcome to come down to Rochester. And hell, buddy, I got a spare bedroom. It's got your name on it if you need a place to stay. Penis Wrinkle 12, $2. SJ says he left because of 3-9 show making fun of him. Correct. So Stuttering John is claiming that because they were going to do Dabblers Anonymous on subreddit surfing on Saturday night, they didn't want to come. What John doesn't realize is that the fact that people would want to watch that is, well, John does realize this, but he doesn't want to admit it. Everyone coming into Rochester from out of town are dabblers. They're part of the Dabbleverse. They're there to watch John fail. They're there to watch Cardiff and Vinny goof on him. They're there to watch great videos that all the people in Dabblers Anonymous make, which are fantastic. And so going through Dabblers Anonymous is going to be entertaining for everyone who's coming to the show. Now, keep in mind, this has been said before. Vinny knew this would not be good for John to do a show that just has people who don't like John and think he sucks attending, which is why Vinny was trying to get John to do something different with this show and trying to bring in old Stern fans, people who know John from a time when John wasn't a buffoon and the laughing stock of the internet. So Vinny was trying very hard to make this a good show for John. He wanted it to succeed. He wanted John to do well. And John has no idea how to let people help him, how to accept that kind of help, because he's a moron. I hope I said that succinctly. Her Stutter, new member. Thank you very much, Her Stutter. And Reels coming with $20. Hey, buddy, just wanted to show some support and tell Jenny Jingles I'm still watching on my super chat. I'm still waiting on my super chat song. Reels, yes. In fact, Doug from the Jingles department was messaged me. He had time to work on super chat songs today, and I did not get back to it because I was prepping real quick for this show. So we will get on that, Reels, for sure. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. Penis Circle 12. SJ just said you play the clip, he gonna sue you. He gonna strike you. If I play the clip, he's gonna strike me. Strike me for what? He can't strike me for playing a clip from a show that he has no control over or ownership of. It's a show that I was on. The Greater Good, $5. Carl, I hope you slapped emotional Vinny right in his fat, flustered face after the creep off today. Yeah, I know. We're on the creep off today. And Vinny says, I'm done with the Dabbleverse. I want nothing to do with it. I'm never talking about John again. Okay, that's fine. This is the creep off. We don't have to talk about John. We should try not to, for sure. And then we find out that John's on his show live canceling March 10th. I said, well, let's pull it up. Let's watch it. And Vinny's like, nope, not going to do it. I should have slapped him around for that. That was pretty lame. Brian Vanucci. Ugh. A Miserable Night with Stuttering John would have been a great name for the Rochester show. Yeah, I know. Would have been fantastic. Dang Lizard, €5. Do you still have the start of today's SJ show when he says he doesn't SHIT the bed, he just pops bloody hemorrhoids, which is way less embarrassing? Thank you. John goes, listen, if anything is seeping through my underpants and pajama pants, it's going to be my hemorrhoids. That's what's going to be leaking onto sheets. And what a catch. You know, John's been talking about how he's been getting laid a lot lately, going out with all these girls. I assume he's not telling them these on YouTube because what the fuck? Why is he saying these things? That's disgusting. Normal people do not have bloody assholes that bleed on the sheets while they're sleeping. Koof, $2. Thank you all for not killing yourselves. Koof, thank you for not killing yourself. Prince Gratz. Can Vinny now give us an SJ contract rundown? I don't think he will. I think Vinny's going to... I've seen it. I can tell you that the contract does not include that Shuli and I are not allowed at the club. That I can tell you for a fact. But I don't think that... I don't think Vinny's going to share that. It would be unprofessional, and Vinny's not unprofessional, as you know. Shannon Duffy, $2. Curl, are you already a crying Brotherhood member? All right. Cannibal Smollikost. Carl, please consult an actual attorney. In the event of actual defamation, the statement being published on your channel could open you to liability. Actual defamation, the statement being published on your channel. Listen, everything that's being said here is alleged. I don't claim to have been there that night that is in question. I don't claim to know what happened. I just know what people are saying about it, what has been said. I'm going to go through all of that. I'm going to go through John's side of the argument. We're going to cover all the different bases here today. So don't worry about that. We'll be covered in what we're saying. The thing that John needs to realize, and I know that he does because in my cease and desist, he even wrote this. John is a public figure. Now, as a public figure, the rules are a little bit different. And I'm not saying that I'm here wanting to harass John or anything like that. That's not the goal here. We like to get some yucks at John's expense, obviously. But this isn't a personal assault or anything like that. The point is, when people are making allegations and talking about things that happen to a public figure, we are all open to discuss these things, talk about them, debate, analyze, all the things that you like to do and have fun doing, all completely legal. And I should point this out because in this tweet where he says, time for me to sue, and I think John has said he's talked to an attorney and he thinks that he can sue me. He can sue me. You could sue anyone for anything. This is the thing that I understand. I'm sure John understands it too. John is welcome to sue me. If he wants to sue me, he can. Now, what happens after that is discovery. And discovery is the part that I think John's not going to enjoy very much because that's where we get all of the information that we need to counter this. And John's going to have to open up the books. We're going to see a lot of information John's not going to want me to see. And John has said a lot of slanderous things about me that I will be discussing. I have a list in front of me that I will be going through. So if John wants to sue me, bring it on. How much fun, and I realize it cost a lot of my friends tens of thousands of dollars, but how much fun was the original wool suit that Maddox put forth trying to sue everybody because he got his feelings hurt? If you don't know what I'm talking about, Maddox from The Biggest Problem in the Universe did a show with Dick Masterson. They had a falling out. Dick Masterson started goofing on him, not too differently than the way that we goof on Stuttering John. And Maddox decided to sue Patreon and Dick and Asterios Kokonos and all sorts of people. And he sued everyone for $20 million a piece. It was like a $400 million lawsuit or something crazy like that. Fucking insane. He got the worst attorney ever to do that. And so it was a lot of fun for everyone involved and paying attention. If John wants to sue me, so be it. Is that the one that I just read? Yeah, it is. Okay. Mike Cuts. Carl, sorry to be off topic, but the Bills better win the next 2 weeks. Fuck Kevin Brennan. I told this to Gino because Gino and I are talking about doing I actually kind of invited myself on his NFL show. I've done it before, but I like going on and talking football with those guys. And Gino and I were scheduling that, and I told him, if the Bills lose to the Broncos, I'm no longer watching football. I'm out. So I won't be doing any NFL shows or talking football at all because if the Bills find a way. Oh, by the way, if you are in Buffalo, the Buffalo area, Western New York, the Isotopes will be performing at the Flying Bison Brewery this Saturday. I think our show's at 4 p.m. or something. It's late afternoon, early evening. They close early there. But come down if you're in the Buffalo area this Saturday, the 18th. The Isotopes, I believe, is a free show. And they have great beer there. We played there a bunch of times. They're really good people. So come down and support and check out the Isotopes, my instrumental rock band. George Foley, $250. I really don't think SJ could financially back out. Oh, I really didn't think. I know. I'm with you on that. It wasn't going to be that big a payday. Tickets were only $20. The club takes a percentage. It wasn't going to be a ton of money, but I know. I kind of thought that he would have stayed on for the only reason that there was money to be made there. Passive aggressive advice guy, $5. Chip said that SJ can handle his own case. Pro say ass he's a member of the bar. Yeah, okay. I'm sure. Monty with $7 Canadian. Carl, I want my rubber deck phone call or I'll sue. Oh, my rubber neck phone call. Yeah. By the way, I know no one's taking me up on that. I'm happy to call anyone who supports at the $25 level on our Patreon or Supercast. Hit me up. Let's set up a time. And let's definitely chat. John's mom comes in with, can you get an abortion in the 24th trimester? I'm asking for a friend. I'll look into that for you. Maybe in some states. J Dad, $2. Objection, Your Honor. Defense is leading to shitter. DPM, $2. So what's the emergency? Vinny, you hear what Johnson Suckweir said? Juicy stuff. Fuck, stuttering John. Corn Diff became a member. Thank you, Corn Diff. Miss you, buddy. I haven't seen you in a while. Shannon Duffy, $2. Carl, are you already an Aryan Brotherhood member? I am not. I just hand out pamphlets in the neighborhood. Madam Priest, $5. Carl, couldn't you just let the poor son of a bitch watch your cats? He just wants a pal. So I didn't realize people didn't know this. We were talking about the other day. I don't have cats. The funniest part about John offering to watch my cats, I don't even have cats. It's the dumbest offer of a favor in the history of offering favors you'll ever see. He's so stupid. I'm going to read a couple more and then we'll get to the video here. Jandolph Schittler. John Dolph Schittler. I picked this avatar name 3 months ago. That's amazing. I doubt it, but that's funny. It's very funny. Turd Ferguson, $5. Will the Isos be doing a Tampa show the weekend of the WTP Live? No. It's too much logistically to pull off. Vinny's SJ Brown nosing has a whole new meaning. Oh, I get it. Mango, $20. Why does John still think he's a comedian? He's the only comedian who wants all evidence of his material scrubbed from the internet. Glory Days is the epitome of stuttering John. I agree. Oh, Kindy coming in. One of my besties. Kindy for $5 says, where are Jen and Chris? We need someone who can actually read. You shouldn't do this by yourself. Hockey mouth. You can get hurt tripping over words. And just when I thought we were friends. Damn it. I guess we're not. I guess we are not. Okay. Let's watch this video. This is what happened that got John all in a tiffy. He was all upset because what happened is there's this girl that John spent a night with at a hotel room. Allegedly, the story was that they were all out doing something. John went back with this girl to the hotel room. John was very inebriated. She didn't want him to go and drive anywhere, so she let him crash. John got a little handsy, got very, very drunk, and ended up sleeping in the bathtub and getting poop on sheets. Allegedly, that's the story. And so this same girl, KC Armstrong, used to date. For whatever reason, going back to this summer, and for weeks, John has been saying this girl has herpes. He's naming names and he's saying she has herpes. Very hurtful thing to say on the internet and just a dick move in anyone's opinion. So eventually, I guess there was enough and this girl decided to let Casey know she had his permission to read these text messages on our show. And so I'll show you what that looks like.
This ain't about Alex, all
right? Oh, we got confirmation down here from KC. We got permission.
Oh, KC's got something. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Hold on. Where's my breaking news clip? Hold on. I got it.
We interrupt our regularly scheduled program.
Wait a minute. We just got this in. Breaking news.
All right, KC, what do you got?
Okay, you guys aren't going to believe this, man. And this is something that I kind of just wanted to go away for that person.
Okay.
I knew the person. Granted, it was 20 years ago. It was an ex of mine,
Okay.
but I know that the way he goes around and talks about her, I know that didn't happen, but
Okay.
we you know.
So I should mention what he's alluding to here is that not only is John saying she has herpes, he's also claiming that she blew him, that he got a blowjob from her. Just scumbag things to say about anyone, especially a civilian who maybe was an intern on the Howard Stern show, but it's not running a media empire or anything like that. And on the show today, John was asked about that, whether he got a blowjob, and now he's taking that back. Now he's saying all they did was make out. So, that's a weird thing to be saying, telling people that he got a blowjob, and then now he's saying, and there's other weird things going on here that we'll get into, but let's play this first so everyone knows what we're talking about.
We brought it up vaguely one time. I'm like, hey, look, I don't need to know anything. Whatever happened, and it's cool. But let me read to you about, who I'm talking about, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I said, hey, I'm going to be on YouTube if you want to see. The show is it's with Julie, and we're just talking about that douche, John. And she says, good fucker. I told you what happened. He was wasted and almost raped me.
All right, let me pause right there. So I think that this woman who sent this to KC, I think if she could have changed something, she would change using that word. That word is pretty loaded. And I'm going to go on record, John, I know you're watching. I'm going to go on record and saying that's not something that should have been said here. It's possible that John was being aggressive. It's possible that John was trying to get laid, maybe not taking no for an answer, but using the R word, if that didn't happen, probably is a bit much in this situation. I'll say that I think we all would have probably hoped that wasn't part of this story. I mean, that's her truth. That was her truth at this time. She has since taken that back and retracted that statement. We'll talk about that. That was her truth at that time. Probably not the right word to use. Not the part that I want to focus on. So we'll move on.
Whoa.
He was the drunkest I had ever seen him. And you can believe this girl. Trust me. This girl is not going to lie, okay? She doesn't want anything to do with any of this. I'm not going to name her name. But if you know the person, the person. It's the only one we have in common.
How long ago was this? What time frame are we talking about?
2 seconds ago.
No, I'm talking about when this occurred.
He's quick. He went after Gino. He tackled him on the floor. Go.
Oh, that's what we're talking about, John? Okay,
we're talking about, welcome to Point Double Point, Bob. Good morning.
No, but I didn't know this was breaking news. I didn't know it was going to be about him. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh. You got to hear this. Trust me, man. It couldn't happen at a better time. And I'm so glad because this girl, her name should not be drugged through the
Send
mud
her the link
because she never
no, she won't. That's why he's the
She'll
best.
be on WATP tomorrow.
So listen to this, guys. Listen, you're gonna love this. He was the drunkest I had ever seen him. I said, since you are so drunk, you can sleep in the bathtub. He got shit all over the sheets because he can't or won't wipe his asshole.
Oh,
allegedly. This is all allegedly, by the way.
This is allegedly, but it's from the person who was there.
Right.
Allegedly, this is really funny. This is the funniest part, but we don't know if any of this is true. This is just a story that someone is telling Casey.
Well, we have to say, just to cover our ass, this is alleged.
Of course you do, right? Who knows? Maybe I could be getting trolled for the past whatever
Sounds
years.
Believable so far. Keep going.
All right, now listen. He goes, he got shit all over the sheets. Let's see.
Ew.
Yeah. He got shit all over the sheets because he can't or won't wipe his asshole. He wants to fuck with me. I never blew him. He tried to kiss me and I was drunk. That's it. He passed out.
Hold on a second. I don't want to tell me if I'm wrong about this. Robin Quivers?
Dominic Barbara. Is it Dominic?
No, we don't have to say the name, but you know.
No, I know.
All right.
We know who it is.
Yeah,
we know who it is. Wow.
So he tried to kiss her, but he's going around telling everybody that she blew him. They slept naked. That never happened.
Wow. What a
Piece of garbage.
I mean, really, who does that?
So he passed
Wow.
out in the bathtub in the hotel room, right? I had shit marks all over my sheets, and he, let me see, and she's just writing me more. It was disgusting. Ask him about that. He tries relentlessly to hook up. I kept making excuses, and he was a drunk mess. Julie Slater saw how bad he was. It was stupid of me to try and get him sober before he could drive home.
Wow.
Okay. So that was the big news that rattled the Dabbleverse. That was the big thing on Point Dabble Point. This episode has been taken off of the internet. I'm going to put it up on our Patreon. I'm going to make sure that if you want to see this whole episode, that it's available for you. Now, obviously, these are allegations. We don't know anything to be true. We're just like everybody else. We're just hearing what's happening. Now, the next day, Saturday, John comes out and he tweets this out. As per my counsel, Anne-Marie admitted what she texted KC never happened, but was said because KC lied to her and was winding her up. She was mad because of my herpes comments. I expect a full retraction from Mr. Armstrong tonight. And then continued. So the next tweet he puts out is to John Melendez. This is from her name from the Stern Show. I think I just said it anyway. Whatever. Everyone knows who we're talking about. This is from Anne-Marie from the Stern Show. So this is her typing this. Now you tell me if this sounds like a normal person just, typing up a thing that's saying, oh, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. That's my fault. You never tried to rape me or shit the bed. I was angry for the herpes comment and with discussing KC and I apologize for any inconvenience. I'd like this to be put behind us. I was just hurt and angry. So what we're saying now is that she made all of this up because John was saying that she had herpes. And so that was the reason why she texted that to KC to read. So now we don't know what to believe. There's a lot of people who are speculating that maybe she was pressured into sending this retraction. We don't know. We don't know if, I know that Vince the lawyer was involved. We don't know if Vince the lawyer, what he said to her, what was said, if there were any threats of anything. There's just a lot we don't know. And I'm not going to pretend that I know anything. Acu Mugen. John's given a new meaning to Mudshark. Nick Tucker, thanks for all the great content, Carl. Fuck Vince the lawyer. Dennis Michaels, did this all happen when he was married? They claim it was 13 years ago, which also doesn't make a ton of sense to me, but I guess, John wasn't living in New York and everyone else was in New York, but he could have been there. I don't know. SJ's Shitty Sheets comes in with $2. Don't look at me. I'm full of poo. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Michael C. Full Schulestein or free Schulestein. All right. I get what you're saying. Trevor Zero, hashtag me poo. Yes. Hashtag me poo. If you're following this story and you want to support the cause. Rick U, 3220, $5. I'm listening to hashtag me poo drama while driving around on duty in my police car. All crimes are legal while this stream is on. Wait, all crimes are legal while the stream is on as far as I'm concerned. I see what you're saying there. You're glued to it. You don't want to get out of the car. You don't care if someone's speeding by you. Good. Let them speed. You speed too. Who cares? Big deal. Dylan became a new member. Thank you very much, Dylan, for becoming a new member. Okay, so now this is why John is threatening to sue me because I am still playing this video. Now, this video where KC is reading text messages, we don't know if it's true or not, and we're not saying that we know that it's true or not. So it's fine to play that and to speculate it. It appears right this, because if she did come back and say that she takes it all back, then it does seem that Casey didn't make it up. So this whole idea that John's mad at Casey forced her to write those things, he wound her up. Casey's not a master manipulator by any means. I love Casey. He's a friend, but there's no way that Casey is getting her to do this. If she was lying and she did make all of this up, it's because of you, John. You kept saying that she has herpes and saying nasty things about her. And that would be the reason why she'd be wound up and doing these things. So again, nothing's ever John's fault. Everything is, he's always the victim somehow, which is nuts. And so that's what he's saying. So now John is saying that he thinks he has a targeted harassment suit against me. This is what he was saying just today. And one of the things he was talking about was the fact that I was DMing Muttering Jay with insider information that I was getting from a source. And I thought it was fun. We would put out some information, like John and his realtor were arguing about the price that his apartment should go up for, and just weird shit like that. Whatever, neither here nor there, but fun stuff that I had learned about and I gave to Muttering Jay to put out to get a reaction out of John, because that's always fun stuff to do. Well, as most of you probably know, Muttering Jay has now switched sides. He's Team John. And so Muttering Jay is now posting these DMs and saying, look at what Carl was up to. Nefarious stuff that I was up to. So he's putting that out there. What John fails to recognize or discuss is the fact that Muttering Jay posted all of these things, which is why I kept feeding him information. John's not mad at Muttering Jay for posting it. I didn't post it. I literally said, if you want to post this, here's some information I got. And then Muttering Jay would post it. In fact, if he shows all the conversations, Muttering Jay was even picking when to post it that would have the maximum impact. So if anyone's guilty of putting out false information, I would think Muttering Jay would be also in that camp. If the information's even false, I don't know that it is. John's claiming that it is. But let's talk about false information, because John has claimed a lot of things about me that are completely false. And here's an incomplete list because I can't think of everything. It's been too much. He's recently been going around saying that my dad bought my house for me. I think he's talking about this house. I think he said, I've heard, or I have it on authority, that Carl's house was purchased by his father. It's nothing to be further from the truth. My father retired in his early 50s because of disability. He's not a wealthy man going around buying houses for his children. So no, that is not true. And he lied about that. John said I was cheating on my wife. Remember that? Remember that whole saga where all of a sudden my wife was in his chat room and on Twitter, and he was tweeting to her to hang out with him. And he actually put out a tweet. Actually, I think I have that tweet too. So this guy, Clamoring Carl, tweeted something, and John quote retweeted that saying, "Can this guy be the worst broadcaster I've ever seen? Can I be the worst broadcaster you have ever seen?" Well, you watch MSNBC, so no. Dude, give it up. You don't have the skills. By the way, according to many sources, you cheat on your wife. What say you? According to many sources, I cheated on my wife. Okay, sure, Johnny. So again, John lying about me, making up allegations that are false and putting them out there on the internet. The thing that he claims he can sue me for, John's doing all the time. Remember when he had a biker gang in Florida that was going to beat me up? We can't forget that. John had met up with some guys at a pub or something, and he told his tale of this guy who's harassing him, who lives down in Cape Coral, and they all went, "Not to our stuttering John Melendez. He won't get away with that." And then as soon as I confronted him about it, he goes, "I made that up." Yeah, no shit. You make up a lot of shit, John. You make up a lot of lies, and then you say them as if they're true. So if that's the game that we're playing, you are very guilty of it. Let me read you some things from the cease and desist John sent me that are wildly inaccurate and false and lies. He said that I encourage and conspire with my listeners to target John's children. Not true. Not true at all. I don't care about John's children. I've said this many, many times. The one person who brings up John's children more than anyone else by a factor of 20 is Stuttering John Melendez. He does this because he uses them as a shield because he's a pussy. He's a pussy who won't do his live show in March. He's a pussy who has to put his trans child up in front of him. He's a pussy who had to put the photo that Anthony Cumia tweeted out on national television because John is a pussy. So he brings up his kids all the time because then he can play the victim and act like, oh, these are the bad guys. They're saying shit about my kids. Well, you know what, John? You will get people saying shit about your kids when you repeat over and over again about your kids. So you got Anthony Cumia to go pretty hard in the paint. You got Patrick Melton to go pretty hard in the paint. I made a joke that was very general about that, the fact that they sounded like they're losers, which is the tamest, most ridiculous thing. Purposely tame and ridiculous, and you fell for it, hook, line, and sinker, because you're a moron. He's talking about my kids! I don't even fucking know your kids' names. I don't give a shit about your family at all. Your family is fine. Your family are probably wonderful people that I would get along with. In fact, I bet that if I sat down and broke bread with your family, we'd have a lot to talk about. We'd probably have a lot of fun and a lot of laughs, if I had to guess. He said, I encourage and conspired with listeners to interfere with his contractual relationships with numerous comedy clubs by threatening the clubs with violence and 1-star reviews. So according to John, he thinks that I was conspiring with listeners. I don't know if this is happening in my Discord or if I'm having late night phone conversations where I'm going, you know what we'll do to him? You know what we'll do? Oh, I got a great idea. Why don't we say this club that's going to have John perform in front of 12 people and it'll be embarrassing and one of them will probably record it and we can play it on the show and it'll be hilarious. Let's not do that. Instead, let's threaten general violence against women, half the population. Like anyone who's part of half the population, there might be violence and that'll be good. That'll work. I don't even know how that worked at a comedy club. It makes zero sense. It sounds like ticket sales weren't great. Allegedly. I don't know. I'm making this up. Maybe ticket sales weren't great. And so they decided like, we don't need this fucking bullshit. We'll just cancel it. Anyway, another lie. I had nothing to do with any of that. I would never do anything like that. He said in the cease and desist, at least one of my listeners acted on my, let me read that again, because John said, at least one of my listeners acted on my encouragement and or instructions by targeting children at the public school that employs John. I have never brought up which school employed John. I didn't know which school employed John. I didn't care. If you want to know who really broke the case, it was Muttering Jay, your best buddy, who posted the photos, who found the Twitter account of the person who said that you were their substitute teacher. None of this would have happened, by the way. I can't stress this enough to John. I have more video to play. We have KC stuff from last night. We're going to get to that. So please stick with us. I appreciate the support. I hope this is interesting for people. None of this would have happened if John would have just come out and said, hey guys, I'm going to be off this week. I got a gig. I'm a substitute teacher. The way that he talks about it now, where he's proud of it, he's giving back to his community. They have a need for teachers after COVID, all these issues. If John would have said, I don't think he would have gotten a lot of shit for that. But the fact that John had to lie about it, say he was writing for a trivia app for 5 weeks or whatever it was a great paying gig. It was the dumbest reason ever. Just like buying the house in New Mexico, the 5-bedroom house in New Mexico was the dumbest thing ever. When he comes out with these lies and he justifies them, that's how John operates. He always justifies his lies. When he comes out with these lies and we all go, huh? This doesn't make any fucking sense. And so then people start focusing on it. Like, what does he mean? What's going on here? And that's why people like Muttering Jay investigate and find out that he's a substitute teacher. And that's why it becomes a way bigger deal. And it's all John's fault. Well, yet again, John, everything that happens to you is your fault. And not just you, everyone. Everything that happens to everyone is their fault. This is how the world works. The sooner you recognize that and learn that, the better your life will be. Putting that out there as a freebie for everyone. All right, here's another one he said. He says going to shit on the walls of the bedroom in my rental home, or get shit on the walls, I should say. Now that we know that John does shit the bed, allegedly, now maybe I should take this more seriously. But John claimed, and he's very gleeful about this, he claimed that he was going to rent out my rental home that I have in Cape Coral, and he was going to bring a girl home or girls home, whatever fictional thing, girl or girls, both fiction. And they were going to have anal sex. And the anal sex was going to, I guess, because his penis is so small, the girl would not even know it was in and would just like start pooping for some reason. And he was going to get the poop on the walls of my rental home. Now, let's remember this. When Chad Zumach threatened to fuck with John's house, John called the FBI, the Tampa police, and I believe the Cape Coral police. Maybe the Tampa police were in it. I think all three, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I'm trying to remember this. John claimed that he was going to call, or that he claimed that he did call, and I actually believe he did call the Cape Coral police. I could be wrong. But he claimed that he was going to call the police because he's all concerned about this threat. Meanwhile, John goes out and threatens my house, a house that he could potentially rent if he had any money, and he doesn't. But he could potentially rent, see what it's like to have a house with a pool and furniture in it, and stay in Florida if he wanted to. And he does the exact same thing that Chad did. When Chad did it, John had to call the police. When he does it, I'm supposed to sit there and take it, or I don't know. I don't know how I'm supposed to react to it. I guess I'm supposed to sell my house and be like, oh no, I can't take the heat. I got to get out of the kitchen. I don't know that John thinks these things through very well when he comes up with these different threats that he has. Part of it is Vince the lawyer. John repeats whatever Vince the lawyer says. Oh, let me get into Vince the lawyer real quick, and then we'll play Casey's video. I have to get, you know that Vince and I have had our differences. Specifically, I've never had an issue with Vince. Specifically, my issue, he's been on the show. We've talked about things. My specific issue with him was when he took a private text conversation that I was having with Tukey, I think it was El Replay at the time, and Shuli and him, and he posted it on a subreddit or on the internet somewhere. And I thought that was kind of a dick move. It's a private conversation. It's something that assholes do to go, hey, look at what Carl said. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, I didn't send that. I didn't mean for that to go on the internet. It's not a huge deal what was posted. I'll admit to that. It didn't change anything in my life. It's just the principle of knowing that if you're messaging with someone and they might take your message and post it on the internet, well, I don't want to message with that person anymore. You can understand why that would be. So that's my issue with Vince the lawyer. Now, with that said, I have to give Vince a shit ton of credit because Vince might be the world's greatest troll, especially in the Dabbleverse. He's the Dabbleverse's greatest troll because what he is doing right now, currently, is he is somehow able to have falling out with John over and over and over again, and then keep winning John's trust back and bringing John back into the fold over and over and over again. How is that even possible? I don't know how John keeps falling for this. Okay, Vince the lawyer is Lucy with the football. And I know that's a lame analogy, but I just thought of it now. Charlie Brown falls for it every fucking time, and John Melendez, just like Charlie Brown, the miserable, dumb, retarded, autistic kid that Charlie Brown was. Stuttering John is the exact same person and just continues to, oh, this time he's going to hold it. This time he's going to hold it. I don't know why you fall down just because the football isn't there. Change your technique. Also, John lies about the fact that I posted his book on Patreon. He repeats this lie over and over and over and over again. You know how you know he's lying is because he changes the story. It started with his friend saw it. Then it turned into him and his friend saw it. Now it's him, his friend, and the book publisher all saw that I posted the MP3 of his book. Then he tried to prove it to Vinny Paulino by showing him a Google Doc that showed a .mp3 link that was the name of the 5th episode that we did about Stuttering John's Easy for You to Say. It was literally bonus number whatever, easy for you to say, part 5.mp3. And John goes, that's my book. It's not. I could look it up for you. It's on my computer. I can tell you what it's actually called, the file itself. That's not what it's called. And I would never post it on my Patreon. That'd be a really stupid thing to do. So, John, you can say that I lie about you, that I post these things, that it's targeted harassment, but I would say you're guilty of a lot of this yourself. Key's a kitty with €6. SJ mentioning your cats made me wonder if he's been watching since back when you said your cat died. Yeah, that's probably true. I did have a cat a little over 2 years ago who passed away. And I don't know if anybody has Time Hop on their phones. I know my wife does. And boy, oh boy, do I still see photos and videos of that cat on a daily basis. We miss her. Sukiyaki was her name. Ed Rooney, $2. Carl also squeegees his rear. Or John, why am I reading it that, Carl? John also squeegees his rear. Yes, because of the hemorrhoids, the bleeding hemorrhoids. I get it. Turbo 7049. Vince the lawyer is muttering Jay. That has been speculated on by a lot of people. I'll say it seems plausible. It seems very possible. If there's anyone who could be a troll on both sides, it's Vince the lawyer. So I think it's in the realm of possibilities. Like I said, I think I was on Uncle Rico or some show. Maybe it was Point Dabble Point when someone was speculating on that. I'm like, well, of the people, if you were trying to figure out who was muttering Jay and you had a list of people, he'd have to be included on the list. There'd be odds written down for Vince the lawyer. You know, you have to think it's not a long shot, I guess is my point. A lot of different ways to say the same thing. Mark, $5. All potential acts of slander was committed by Alpaca, the asshole, and is not necessarily a reflection of the thoughts of KC Armstrong. Hashtag fuck Phil Elmore. Yeah, I don't think putting on a mask changes anything. Steve, member for 3 months. Thank you very much. Maybe Casey got a text from a different woman. Very possible. Could have been a different woman. I don't think so. Dennis Michaels, $5. Separated October 2011, divorced 2012. That's 11 years ago. Casey said this was 13 years ago. Weird. That is weird. Thank you, Dennis Michaels. I have not looked that up. And that is interesting. It just seems like based on when John knew Anne-Marie, when they worked together and hung out together, it seems like he would have been married, but I don't know. I have no idea. But the fact that John can post things like this tells me that I can also speculate on whether or not John was cheating on his wife. We can always speculate on these things. He's a public figure. This is something that we can do. It's a lot of fun. Mason in Portland coming in. A member for 1 month. What are the chances John still expects the club to pay him even though he canceled? I think he knows better than that. Although there is a sum of money there that John wouldn't mind having. They sold a good number of tickets. I found out the number today, and it's decent. It's enough to have the show happen. Run DAZ, $2, wiping rears and drinking beers. Skola! Dang Lizard, €5. SJ's actual life motto, always the victim, never victorious. It might be. It might be. Although he has said in his book many times, don't take no for an answer. There's no such thing as can't, which is probably not the best thing when you hear about the story that Anne-Marie told. AO 1012, $5. The threatening to sue reportedly is legitimately something only children who just heard the word for the first time. It's pathetic, really. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. I say this all the time, but not in a while. So I'll say it again. When you actually have a lawsuit and you're going to sue someone, you don't threaten it. You just do it. Same with mob hits. You don't say, I have connections to the mafia. You don't say, maybe someone will pay you a visit. Two things that John has said to me, or about me anyway. You just do it. Which is why I don't take death threats seriously. I don't take lawsuits seriously. If you're going to do it, do it. The greater good, $2. SJ is inspiring men to drink less and wipe better. Yes. Yes, he is. There is some good that comes out of this. I agree. Sta Chunksta became a new member. Thank you very much, Sta Chunksta. And John Bolton, please say that Vince the lawyer is muttering as scumbag. Fuck Stuttering John. I don't know for a fact. I don't know who Muttering Jay is. I have some information, but I need to make sure that I have confirmation before I do that. Okay. I have actually not watched this yet. This is KC from last night on his show. He was told he needed to retract everything that happened on Point Dabble Point. John let him know that this is serious and he's ready to sue. And so KC better come on and say, none of that was true. I forced Anne-Marie to type those things to me and I shouldn't have said them. And I'm so scared. Oh no, John, please don't come after me. So let's see what he ended up doing.
Guys, Crypt Keepers, everyone say hi to Coach. All right, guys, I'm pissed off. I'm upset for my friend, and I'll do what I have to do. First, they wanted me to make a retraction. They wanted me to get on the air, do a live retraction about some things that were said. So I'm going to do that. My retraction is, if I ever said anything resembling a positive remark about that piece of shit, Stuttering John, I retract it.
Slow golf clap for KC Armstrong, everybody. Very well done, sir. Very well done. Love it. Good start. We're off to a good start here. I like what he's doing. Very similar to the approach we're taking today. I like it.
You fucking coward, bully, piece of shit. How fucking dare you pick on a fucking defenseless girl and make her relive what the fuck you did, you fucking asshole. This is why I didn't want to come on tonight.
Oh, that's good, buddy. Keep going.
Okay. There will be no retraction, okay?
There shouldn't be.
The only thing that I will say for my friend is that she told you, I'll go through the whole thing, but she used the R word. And she wishes to apologize for that, for using.
Okay. See, I hadn't even seen this yet, but this makes nothing but sense to me. I think this is kind of what went over the line. Yeah, there's a lot of different things she could have said. She probably should have said it in this way. So this makes sense to me.
That word, because that never happened. John is not a rapist. Stuttering John is not a rapist. I'm going to tell you the truth. He's a he is a I don't know what the word is. What is the word? It's a
use your words, Casey. You got this.
He sexually assaulted somebody. You can't expose your genitals to somebody when
I wasn't expecting that.
They tell you no.
Allegedly. She said no. Okay.
When a woman says no, it means fucking no, you coward. I'll go through all of it, but
wow.
John is not a rapist.
Okay.
I'll give him that. Look, I'm just going to tell you the truth, all right? And I'm sorry I got mad in the beginning. I'm an emotional guy, and this is somebody who is a nice person. I have no dog in the fight here, except that she is a nice person. I have always known her. Anyone who has ever met her will tell you that she is the kindest. It would do anything for anybody, including a guy that sexually assaulted her by showing his genitals to her after he kept over and over trying to get on her and try to hook up. Let's just say that, okay? Hook up with her. And she says, no, no, no. But this is a tribute to my friend and how awesome she is. She didn't want him to get in his car and probably kill himself or somebody else because he's so fucking drunk. He's shitting all over himself.
Oh, AO1012, $2. Love KC, but he's the one who brought this up. Well, okay, but you got to remember what started this. John decided to go around saying that both KC and this Anne Marie woman have herpes. And he didn't just say it once. He was saying it over and over again. And so for every action, there's an equal but opposite reaction. So you got to think that this woman had a bad experience with John. And you know what? I haven't even brought this up yet. Part of the reason why a lot of people think, maybe myself included, a lot of people think that this woman didn't want to take all of this back, but just decided to take it all back and like say, okay, whatever. None of this happened. It's all made up. Let's just move on. Is because John comes out immediately and says, we love each other. I love Anne Marie. That's a weird thing to say after somebody comes up with an allegation out of nowhere that is so damning. If there was someone in my life who came out with this thing, that's another thing that John lied about, my list of things that John says that he's talking to my ex-girlfriends. He's got dirt on me. Another thing that John's lying about, which is bullshit. And another thing that maybe would have brought this on, because when you introduce those things into your world, I know I'm getting a little bit hippie here, but when you open yourself up to, oh yeah, I'm going to get dirt from ex-girlfriends and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden this happens, like a little coincidental. I don't know. Coincidence? I think not. I don't know. I could be wrong. So the fact that John comes out and says, we love each other, it was a misunderstanding, we're great friends, tells me that he's feeling a tinge of guilt here. He wants this to go away really badly. And he would say, well, it's because I was saying she has herpes. I shouldn't have said that. Okay. But there might be something else going on here. Just the fact that John's so mad at me, so mad at KC Armstrong, and for whatever reason has nothing but love for Anne-Marie, the person who wrote the things that John's upset about. This all came from her. It didn't come from me. It didn't come from KC. It came from her. And John has completely forgiven her immediately. Immediately. You're forgiven. Weird. Right? John's not a big forgiving guy when you've wronged him. Trust me. So, I don't know. It seems a little bit odd to me. All right. Let's get back to this. I didn't know this would be so emotional. It's great. Casey's killing it here, but.
So what she does is she takes the sheets from the closet area or from the bed. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I wasn't there, guys. All I know is what my friend said. And my friend doesn't lie. She's just a nice person, man. And she said, you got to leave me alone. But here are the sheets. You can go sleep in the bathtub until you sober up and you can drive home.
All right. I have a question. Maybe this is for the chat because I don't have a co-host right now. It's weird not having a co-host, to be honest with you. But I have a question for you. Is sleeping in the bathtub the second option to the bed? That seems odd to me. A bathtub doesn't seem in a hotel room. I wouldn't take a bath in a bathtub in a hotel room. I feel a little weird taking a shower. I mean, it's fine, but I don't think that's where I would sleep. I'd put sheets down on the floor and then sleep on that, maybe. Am I crazy here? Do people sleep in a bathtub if they can't sleep in the bed, if someone else has the bed? It seems so uncomfortable. And like the last place, I mean, if you have shit all over your pants, then yeah, the bathtub. If you're shitting yourself, then yeah, the bathtub's going to be the easiest cleanup. Okay, you know what? I just answered my own question. Maybe he was shitting himself. Carla Heberger, $2. Vince the lawyer intimidated her into taking it back. Fuck Vince the piece of shit lawyer. Yeah, we don't know. That's speculation. That is one of the theories that's going around out there, isn't it? AO 1012, $2. I take it back. Screw the skid mark stutterer. Holy shit. Look at Purple Monkey Dishwasher coming in with a huge super chat. Purple, I think I have a jingle for you. Do I not?
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Thanks for the super chat, Purple. Stuffing an entire cheese ball in your ears during SJ's stand-up may have caused you eventually to pass out at the roast.
A lot of ways to make money, but I just couldn't find my niche. I played the lotto when I played some cards, but neither one made me rich.
Oh, I hope no one's sniping me right now. That was my band Angel Dustin Hoffman that was playing right there, a song that I wrote and sang. So, oh man, I really hope that the shit stainer guy is not sniping me. Purple says, just hear John officially backed out of the March show. Congratulations. You are free of the cockroach-infested, Coors Light chugging, stuttering jerk. I hope he can still play his record stand-up in full at the show. I also hope your day is going great, Carl. Skol! Purple, that's a good point. And I'm glad you brought this up because as we're discussing, what are we going to do? People have tickets. They're going to be in town. They are planning a trip to Rochester for John's show. I announced we'd probably do a live WATP, and anyone who has tickets can get into that. But we should probably do something for the people who wanted to watch John stand up. So maybe we can have some type of showing or something we could do. I have to clear it with legal, obviously. Figure out what we can legally do. But that's a great point. Thank you very much for the support, Purple. $200, very generous. Thank you. Dylan, $2. John is the reason I support President Trump USA. Dylan, true story. I did not vote for Trump in 2016. I did vote for him in 2020 because of Stuttering John Melendez. I'm not even joking. But part of the reason, because I feel like his brand of political commentary needs Trump for people to watch it. And I think I was right about that because rooting along with Joe Biden's not that compelling, I guess. Penis Wrinkle 12, $2. SJ did admit he was mistaken about the BJ from her. Yes, I did cover that earlier in the show. All of a sudden, John, who was bragging about getting a blowjob from this girl, saying she has herpes, two things that are just despicable to do on the internet. And so then it got brought up on the show today, and John goes, oh, maybe I was wrong about that. Really? That's all you're going to do? Maybe I was wrong about that? What a douche. What a complete douche. Let's get back to KC here.
This is after he shit all over the place. And, you know, it's no surprise when someone is so in love with themselves like John is. Any man out there, do you think there is a woman on earth that would want to even give you a hug after you shit yourself because you're so drunk? Anybody? If I'm missing something, you could tell me.
All right, here's a poll I'll put out. If you're a girl, talk about a guy. If you're a guy, talk about a girl. If you're whatever, do whatever. What person would you still want to hook up with after they shit themselves? It's a short list for me, but I could think of a couple. But Stuttering John, I don't think would make that list for any of these. Oh, yeah. KC was fired up when he did this broadcast. I'm glad he did it. He wants to put this behind him now. I wanted to have him on the show today, but I understand. He's made his point. He's gotten it out. That's enough. We get it.
But all I'm doing here tonight is I didn't want to come on. I'm doing this tonight for my friend. She wants it to end. She didn't want any of this.
Did you warn her when she gave her permission to say this on YouTube? Did you say, oh, just so you know, Point Devil Point is watched by 20,000 people every week. So this is going to be probably pretty big news in the Dabbleverse. I don't know. I think she should have known.
But she didn't know what Stuttering John was saying about her for the past couple of years. Stuttering John, I heard... me, bring me up, fucking whatever you want to do. I heard a conversation between John and Monique, my friend, Monique. John got on there and said, I guess after I did an interview with, whatever, because he has to look a certain way. He has to look like he's anything other than a disgusting piece of dog shit that he is. He goes, yeah, I don't want to talk about it, but she, my friend, I don't want to say her name. You guys know who I'm talking about. It's my ex-girlfriend from 20 years ago. But still, I know her character. I know who she is. She slept with her. She might kill me for saying this, but I think you need to know this. She slept with her high school sweetheart. Then she got married. She slept with her husband. And then I came along. the asshole. But we spent Christmases together, and we spent 4 years together. She was separated, and just like it's not of anyone's business, but it didn't work out because.
Okay, so I guess I pulled that from Dabblers Anonymous. Somebody posted that video. I didn't know where it was going to go. I didn't watch it. Like I said, I guess that end part is important just to know that Casey's very emotional about this. This was a girl that he was obviously in love with. They had dated for 4 years. So there's a lot of emotionally charged things going on here on all sides. And so I totally understand why Casey's upset about this, why he was upset with what John was saying about her all this time. And maybe he influenced her to say things she wouldn't have. I don't know. It's hard to say. Anything is possible, obviously. Let me address this real quick. Vinny's a fat wop. $2. Carl, did you vote for Hillary in 2016? Answer, no. I think it was Gary Johnson was the Libertarian presidential candidate. I've never voted for a president who was voted to become president or became president. Never once in my life has the person that I wanted to be president become the president. So I rarely vote for one of the two main parties that I see as pretty similar these days. Both warmongering, shitty parties that are both the same. It's why it drives me fucking crazy to watch John's political show. It's not because I'm a Republican and what? He thinks Democrats are great. I know, now I sound like Opie. I think that Republicans and Democrats are pretty much the same. It's like pro wrestling where you go to the match and these guys hate these guys and they fight and they're all upset. And then you go out to dinner later and you see the rest sitting at the same table eating dinner. What the fuck? It's the same thing in politics. So anyone who gets really angry about Republicans or Democrats is being childish. I think John is childish when it comes to politics, but oh boy, now I'm getting divisive. My bad. Never mind. I take it all back. It's the most controversial thing I've said this entire show. Obviously, now I definitely will get sued by Senator John. And then he slandered Democrats, saying they're just as bad as Republicans. We all know Republicans are racists. Maybe I'll do a political show that's the same style as John's show. No, I definitely won't. That's a terrible idea. I take it all back. I'll never talk politics again. Yes, correct. Cringe. All right. That's enough of that. That's what I wanted to present. So I want to talk about today. Is there anything else that I missed? Anything that we should be talking about on here? This has obviously been huge news. It's a bombshell that happened. I mean, we all saw when it went down on Friday, how crazy this news coming out was. John's reaction has been nuts. Everything about this has been entertaining. Let's not forget, John is threatening to sue me again. Even though when he was asked about it on his show today, he goes, I didn't threaten to sue Carl. What's he talking about? He threatens lawsuits so often he forgets that he threatens lawsuits. And it's great because I don't even see his Twitter. So when he threatens me with things, when he posts photos of me from 15 years ago with my friends hanging out, I never see any of it. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But that's what John's world is. He likes to punch at a person who can't see him and then scurry away like a little bitch. He really is a bitch. He really is a pussy in every single way. You the man, Carl. Thank you, Run DAZ. Rochester Democrats have really turned that city into a gem. Oh, it is beautiful here. We do love it. Vinny Safat Wop, another $2. Okay, you're off the hook. I still love you. I had the right answer. Yes, I had the right answer. No, I would never vote for Hillary Clinton. I promise you that. That would be an insane thing. Point Devil Point seemed like the worst idea, but somehow generated the most interesting content of the last month. I know! Between Joey C coming on, and KB likes to make fun of us for having Joey C as a guest on the show, and then obviously KC Armstrong. Wow, we've gotten some great information out of Point Dabble Point. And who knew you could do a fun show about Stuttering John without playing any clips and just having a roundtable discussion about the guy. All right. I'm going to call it quits. This has been a lot of fun. I don't normally do solo shows, so this is a little bit of an experiment, but it seemed to work out pretty well. I only pronounced about 48 words incorrectly and read things like an idiot about 12 times. That's not bad. We've been going an hour and 15. So that's not too bad. Maybe Kindy will tell me I wasn't as bad as she thought I was. I don't know. I don't usually get words of encouragement from Kindy, but you never know. Everyone, I think Uncle Rico's on right now. Hop over to the Shuli Network, and we'll see you again. Wednesday is the next Who Are These Podcasts live. If you're a member, you can watch that at 5 p.m. And then Who Are These Broadcasters tomorrow at 2 p.m. on this very channel, this network. Watch my buddy Eric Zane and Christian Blatt as they focus on what's new in the world of broadcasting.
Who are these podcasts?